Welcome yourself to this time for yoga practice. Sit up nice and tall through the spine. Close your eyes for a moment. Turn your gaze low. Bring all of your attention and awareness to your breath. Welcome to Yogahour. The word of the day is unobtrusive. Unobtrusive. And I have this short reading for you. It talks about children, but we're going to imagine that that's pared down here to the yoga mat and the way that we relate to the yoga mat. And it says, "Are you in the way? Wise parents let things unfold with as little interference as possible. They remain out of the way, not calling attention to themselves. Their children discover the natural harmony of things and work out their conflicts in ways that establish true peace. When parents interfere and constantly meddle in their children's lives, the natural order is forgotten. Conflicts are escalated, learning is curtailed, and confusion reigns. There are certainly times when we should guide. We naturally want to protect our children and teach them what we have learned, but it is best when we let that guidance be as unobtrusive and gentle as possible. Forcing lessons on our children may get the immediate results we want, but our children may be left without discernment, unable to build internal strength of character. What are your children in the midst of learning now? Are you in the way?" So if you think of your yoga mat and your practice as your child, don't get in the way. Bring the palms together, the thumbs to the sternum, as a way, again, of walking into this seat for practice, but not getting so locked up that the flow doesn't happen. For me, music is one thing that helps me keep my mind a little less in the middle of the practice. Go with the flow. Release the hands down. Tuck the chin to the chest. And rock the right ear towards the right shoulder. Chin back down to the chest, left ear to left shoulder. Do that a couple of times from side to side. And I know a lot of yogis watch this particular class back on the recording. I want to mention, if you are one of those watching the recording back, that I'm going to let you know what this playlist is in case, because it does not come across. Keep the chin down to the chest. Take both hands behind the head and press your head into the hands. Find just a light stretch from the top of the spine leading down to your tailbone. And then release the hands back down, lift the head. Take the right arm up and over. And then the left arm up and over. Come back to your center and change to all fours. So as you come to all fours, place the hands right underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Good old cat and cow. Just move the spine back and forth a couple of times. Let the hips shift a little bit from side to side as well. Opening up that breath and movement together. Change to downward facing dog. Tuck the toes and lift the hips. Pedal out the feet here, a little back and forth. Shake out the head, yes and no. And then look forward in between the hands and step the right foot all the way through to low lunge. Right hand up to the sky in a twisted lunge. And then lower the hand down to the inside of your foot. Spin the back heel down. Down dog lunge. Walk the hands out over the front left corner of the mat. Keep the front knee over the middle of the toes. Little space between the right shoulder and the right knee. And then walk the hands back in. Lift the back heel up, step all the way back to downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Exhale and empty it out. Second side, step the left foot forward to your low lunge. Take a moment there. Square off the hips, back leg high enough that you feel strength and steadiness there. And then left hand up to the sky in your twisted lunge. Set the hand down to the inside of your foot. Spin the back heel down. Again, down dog lunge. Walk your hands out towards the front right corner. Make your arms as long, as straight as possible. And broaden the front knee a little bit away from the front shoulder. And then walk it back in. And again, take downward facing dog. Next inhale, come forward to plank pose. Hold here, top of plank. Squeeze the heels in, squeeze the glutes. Lengthen your tailbone, tone the belly. Look a little forward rather than straight down. Hold top of your plank for a count of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lie flat down onto your yoga mat. Interlace the hands behind your back or keep them open and lift everything that you can up. And this belly down, back bend, Shalabhasana, locust pose. Try to lift from your thighs rather than just the toes. Lift from your chest. Exhale, lower down. Push back to child's pose. Hips to your heels. Change to downward facing dog. Take a nice bend in your knees and walk your hands backwards so we're all at the end of our yoga mat. Bent knee forward fold, release the torso, release the head, let it be. Hold on to your elbows, a little ragdoll, side to side. And then slowly come on up to standing. Roll the shoulders up and back a couple of times. And forward and down a couple of times. Lovely. Feet close together. Inhale, lift the arms up to the sky. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Bend the knees, sit into your thighs. Take palms together here and add a twist. Left elbow towards the right side. As you tone and turn through the belly, place hands as much as you can in the center of the chest and right elbow up to the sky. And then untwist and go right into the second side, right elbow to the outside of the left leg. Try to keep the knees, the hips in line with one another as you tone, turn, twist through the belly. You can always keep the arms a little bit more lifted, belly a little more lifted so that the twist isn't too intense. And then we untwist, stand up, arms to the sky. Exhale, take the hands behind your back and interlace. Nice bend in the elbows, squeeze them towards each other. As you squeeze the elbows in, then extend the arms straight. With the arms straight, bend the knees, sit lower. Head towards the knees, arms to the sky. Keep shifting the head of the shoulder up and back. And then release the hands. Inhale, stand all the way up again. With the arms overhead, walk to the front end of your yoga mat. Separate your feet. Outer hip distance apart. Squat. Take your hips down low. Sit low into the legs. And then using your hands as needed or keeping them lifted as available, plop on down. Right into boat pose. Lift the arms, lift the legs, lift the chest. Try to sit pretty far forward on the sits bones. Start to pedal the feet. Arms one side, knees to the other side. And then switch and pedal the other way. Switch, pedal the first side. And switch, pedal the second side. Go back to boat pose, extend the arms, extend the legs. You could hold on to the legs to make that a little bit more doable. Still a lot of work. And then set the soles of your feet down to the mat and lower all the way down. Bridge pose, press the hands down, feet down, shoulders, head down, and lift your hips up. Can you interlace the hands underneath you again and rock the shoulders a little more towards the center? Squeeze the glutes a lot, lift through the thighs. Stay here for one more breath. And then release the hands and lower the hips down. Legs straight up into the air. For the most conservative option here, the most support, place your hands underneath your low back and butt. A little more challenge, we'll take the hands out and behind the head. And even more challenge, head and shoulders off of the mat for a little crunch. Keep the arms in any of those three positions and start to lower the legs until they're hovering just above the ground. Glue the inner edges of your feet together. Don't let them come apart. And take the legs back up to the sky. And do this a few times, nice and slow as you descend the legs down. Remember, stay unobtrusive in the mind today. We pick the mind as the parent, the body as the child. Give yourself a wonder as to what the body can do, what the child can do without getting in the way. One more time, nice and slow, lift and lower. Pull your knees into the chest, give yourself a hug. From here, the next move is downward facing dog. Get there however you wish. I'm going to rock up and over through plank to dog pose. Join me here, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, let's lift our right leg up into the air, three-legged dog. Freedom in the lift. Step it all the way through to your low lunge. Come upright, arms to the sky, high lunge. Hold on to your left wrist and reach a little bit to the right side here. Enjoy the stretch on the left side of the torso and all the way down the left thigh. Come back to the center, release the arms and step all the way forward. Again, hold on to the left wrist and reach up and over, crescent pose. Inhale, back to the middle. Exhale, forward fold. Step it back, downward facing dog. Lift the left leg up into the air, three-legged dog. Lift, lift, lift. Nicely done. Step it all the way forward and come up to high lunge. Keep the back heel straight up into the air. Hold on to the right wrist and lean over towards the left side. Come back to your center, release the arms, and step it all the way forward. With 2 feet on the ground here, nice and solid. Again, take hold of the right wrist, up and over to the side, crescent. Come back to your middle. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Hands can go to shins or thighs. Lengthen the spine. Step it on back to plank. Lower flat down to the mat. Reach your arms out in front of you and your feet way back behind you. A little bit of a swim there. And then superhero pose. Lift everything that you can. Up, 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 up. Couple of breaths. Lower it down. Press back, child's pose. Downward facing dog, tuck the toes, lift the hips. One more set of lunges before we get into more of our standing poses here. Step the right foot forward, spin the back heel down, both hands to the inside. So we've already been here. You can stay and work the legs. If you want a little added work in the arms and upper body, interlace the hands behind the back. We'll do that no-handed lunge. Send your head down and your arms up. And this time, do try to make your right shoulder swing to touch your inner right thigh. That connection should give you a couple more breaths of strength in the pose. Release the hands, come back to your low lunge, step through plank. Okay, lots of choices here. Plank pose, hold it, toes or knees. Or add a round of push-ups. And I say around, giving you the option to do 1, 2, maybe up to 6 or 7 here. And then everyone back to downward facing dog. Second side, step your left foot forward. Spin the back heel down, both hands to the inside. Again, work the foundation in the legs, stay there. Second challenge point, interlace the hands behind the back, send head low, arms up to the sky. Swing the left shoulder right against the inner thigh if possible. Enjoy the breath. Release your hands. This time, step forward, right foot to the front of your yoga mat. Inhale, half lift, hands to shins, thighs, or fingertips even to the ground. Get your length in the spine. And then fold it down and over the legs. Stand all the way up, reach the arms high. And bring palms together, center of the chest. An opportunity to pause for a couple of breaths. Feel your intention. See just the breath. Be unobtrusive so this practice continues in full for you. And release the hands. Give everything a little bit of a shake. Okay. We'll stand facing the long side of the yoga mat and take a wide stance. Extend the arms out in either direction and turn your right foot out. Bend the right knee, warrior 2. And warrior 2, gaze out over the front fingertips. And if you glance down just a little bit, we're pretty familiar with this. We want to broaden the front knee so that you can see that big toe there. Try to sit just a little bit lower. One more breath like this. Triangle pose, straighten the right leg. I usually need a shorter stance. I'm going to walk in the back leg just slightly and then lean as far as you can to the right. Lower the hand down to your leg, a block, or the floor. Top arm to the sky. A lot of yogis have the tendency to lean forward and down here to get the bottom hand further to the ground. Instead, keep that bottom hand a little bit higher to allow you to fully open and rotate shoulder, shoulder, hip over hip. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Those two poses on the second side. So we turn the back toes in, front toes out. Warrior two, I know I need a little longer stance. I'm just going to let my back leg slide out a little further again. And it's not just one breath to get you there. You can have a little bit of bounce in the pose, find your way. And then a little bit of more static hold for a couple of breaths. Stay toned in the belly. Think navel pulling away from the t-shirt. And then change to triangle pose. So again, as I straighten the left leg, I'm going to walk my back foot in so I have just a slightly shorter stance. Try it. And then reach as far as you can to the left. Hand down to floor or leg or block. High enough on that bottom hand that you could fully rotate. Top hip towards the sky, top shoulder and hand to the sky. Excellent. Come all the way up. Turn 10 toes parallel to one another. Wide-legged forward fold. Take the hands down under the line of the shoulders. Move forward enough that you can have a long spine here. Right hand out to the side and then twist in the torso to lift the right hand up to the sky. That starts to torque a little bit in my knees, so I'm just going to bend the knees to make it easier to keep the experience in the torso. You can try the same. Lower the right hand all the way down. Take the left hand out to the side and do the same thing. Hips square, equal weight in the legs and the feet to enjoy the twist up top. And then lower the left hand down, both hands to the hips. Push down to your feet, come all the way up to standing, heel toe, or jump it into the middle. Come back to the top edge of your yoga mat. Lift the arms up to the sky. And this lift is just so we can really experience an extra bit of length from the hips to the shoulder. I want you to try to keep that, but drop the hands back down to your hips. Right foot forward, step your left foot back. Pyramid pose or Parsvottanasana. Straighten both legs, both feet flat against the ground. Keep both hip points face towards the front of the mat and then hinge over. I want you to keep this much strength and control in the abdomen and the central core of the body, but the hands can go lower. They don't have to, but maybe they do. So you have strength and balance in the center of the body. Stretch through both legs. Keep sending your head forward. And then only a little bit down towards your right ankle. Keeping the feet flat, the legs as straight as possible. Come back up to standing. Little bend in the knees to step the left foot forward and step the right foot back. And I've got about a heel-to-heel alignment in my feet here so that there's balance work involved. But it's not so much that I'm on a tightrope. There's just a little bit of space there. Kind of Again, come forward in the torso. Think left hip up and back, right hip around and down. Torso can come a little bit further down. Hands stay lifted or to the ground. If the hands are down, don't let that collapse in the strength of the core. Okay, both hands back to the hips if they were down. Tighten the kneecaps as you come up. Step both feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift, extend the spine. Keep the right foot where it is. Step the left foot back into your low lunge. From low lunge, we're making a big leap here into half moon pose. This is one of those unobtrusive moments. Think about it less and go right into it. Half moon. Right leg, arm down, left leg, arm up. Give it your best shot. Couple of breaths, that's all it is. And then set the left foot down beside the right foot and stand back up. Pull your right knee into your chest. Hug the hands around the front of the shin. Lift the knee as high as you can into the chest. Take the hands now underneath your right thigh. Keep them there to kick the legs straight. Or more challenge, take the hands to hold on under your foot. And then everyone, kick the right leg as straight as you can. Pull it back in and stamp down to the mat. Just like that. Inhale, lift high. Exhale, fold over. Inhale, half lift. Keep the left foot forward, step your right foot back. Again, go right into it. Half moon pose, balance on left arm and leg. Lift your right arm and leg up. Lift higher, expand more than you thought to. Bend your right knee, left knee, and set the right foot down to the mat. Stand up. Arms to the sky and pull the left knee into your chest. Hold the hands around the front of the shin to get a little bit higher. Stage 1. Hands underneath your thighs. Stage 2. Stay and work there, or hands behind your foot. Ready? Let's all kick. Left leg as straight as it'll go. Just for a couple of breaths, let the body do the work. And then 2 feet down to the mat. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, forward fold. Step back, downward facing dog. Take downward facing dog. Yes. From down dog, bend your knees enough to walk your hands backwards to your feet. End of your yoga mat. Power pose, Utkatasana, bend the knees, sit into your thighs. Also called chair pose. Right here, find your power, your strength, be fierce. Take your hands to your hips and stand up. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh and point the right knee as much as you can out to the side. Anytime we're in balance poses and you'd like to find something to support you, a wall, a chair, or something, you can, of course. Hold on to your right leg and stand up. Pick it up with you. Standing pigeon prep. Hand stays like this, or forearms underneath your shin, or elbows around the foot and knee. Each of those progressively more challenging. Take the one that works for you today, this leg, this side, this moment. Breathe with it. Stand up as much as you can in the torso. And then very carefully set both feet back down to the mat. Second side, cross the left ankle over your right thigh. Find the balance there first. Bend the bottom knee to sit a little lower into the hip. And that should aid us to take the hands to foot and knee. Pick the left leg up off of the right. Stand up as tall as you can. Okay, so no doubt we have to give up a little something to get into the other hand positions. So if you're going forearms or holding eye of the elbow around knee and foot, you're going to have to lean forward first. Get your hold, and then come back upright as much as you can. For me, it's nowhere near that first hand grip. And I don't have to judge that. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to get in the mix. Let it happen. And then come back 2 feet to the floor. Big reach up to the sky always feels nice. Kind of clear the space, one thing to the next. And then exhale, forward fold. Downward facing dog. From down dog, take your right leg up into the air, three-legged dog. Bend the knee and open the hip. Point the right knee more up to the sky, the toes towards the left. Try to keep the shoulders square, look down still to the floor rather than under the armpit. Pull the right knee into your chest, hover forward in plank pose. And step it all the way through. Come up to high lunge, arms to the sky. Okay, that figure 4 shape, we're going to try it again here. Hands to the waist, step the left foot in, and then cross it, left ankle over the right knee. Figure 4 shape. Bend the knees, sit into the legs. Rather than picking up your leg, I want you to take your hands down and forward. If you're like me, my hands are off of the mat here, and I'm just going to kind of hop back. So hands and feet have a mat space. Staying as in as possible, lower, 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 palms to the ground. Wrap the left foot around the upper right arm bone. Again, don't get yourself in the middle of this. Keep the mind out and just do what the body allows. Squiggle your right foot back further to get some space. Lean forward like you're doing Bakasana and kick your right heel towards your seat. Extend your right leg straight back behind you, flying pigeon pose. Left foot down. Standing forward fold. Lift the arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, go right back down. Step back to downward facing dog. Lift the left leg up, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hip. The shoulders will want to turn. Try to keep the shoulders square, even as the hips open. Gives you a little twist in the torso. Be good to yourself. Pull the left knee into the chest, hover forward in plank pose. This is the strength that you need for that flying pigeon pose. Stay with it. And then step through. Come up to high lunge, arms to the sky. Hands to the hips, step the right foot forward. Take a breath in. Okay, best we can. Right ankle over the left thigh, point the knee out to the side, sit low. One stage, hold on to the leg and keep it there. More, hands go down. Fingertips to the mat, left foot to the mat. Maybe it's a stop and hold here. More, your upper tricep, palms down. Very technical, squiggle that left foot back so that it gives your body a little bit of space. And then hinge forward, head down, hips up, left heel up. Stretch it out. Come out of your pose, 2 feet to the ground. Both arms to the sky. Exhale and fold. Take it in, release your head, little ragdoll pose. Best part of those harder arm balances, I think, is the energy that washes over after. Take it in here. All right, downward facing dog. Step the feet back again, down dog. One more time with the 3-legged dog each side. Lift the right leg high. Pull the knee into the chest and hover forward. Make the arms as straight as you can. You can be on left toe or the left knee here. Try to hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Step the right foot forward. Hands to the hips, lift the torso up. From the hips to the shoulders to the head, one line here. Keep it as much as you can and step forward, kick your left heel to your hip. So from high lunge, we're going to this flamingo pose and into dancer pose. Hold your left hand to the front of the left foot. A little different entry there. Top arm to the sky. Been working dancer pose this month, more straight up and down. Try not to lean forward. Instead, just kick your foot up and back. Feel the shoulders and the head. Stay right over the line of the hips. Pull back to your flamingo pose, meaning heel closer to the seat, knee to knee. Let go of your foot, both hands to the hips. Warrior 3, kick the back leg out, tilt forward. It's asking a lot, but can you just stay in the flow? Do what the body allows. And then take it all the way down to your low lunge. Both hands to the inside of your right foot. Back knee to the ground. Go down to your forearms. And I actually have my forearms a little lifted from the mat because I'm not working with a yoga block today. Go only as far as works. Always listening in, not trying to let the mind and its ideas override what feels best in the body. Bring yourself all the way back to your regular low lunge, back knee off of the floor, hands on either side of the front foot. Transition to plank pose. Down to the mat. Cobra, peel the chest up as you press the hands and the feet down. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, last 3-legged dog, last side, left leg high. Pull the knee into the chest, hover forward in plank. Remember, we're holding here. You've got this. Strength and control. Step it all the way forward. Come up to high lunge. Okay, we're mapping here. Torso, hands, head, shoulders, hips, all in one line. We're used to doing that in this pose. Keep it as much as you can. Hop the back foot in until you can stand on the left leg and kick the right heel to your seat. Take the right hand to hold on to the outside of the right foot. Keep that map of the torso as straight up and down as possible. Don't lean forward and kick your right heel back and up. It changes to warrior 3, both hands to the waist for a moment. As you kick the right leg out, you can extend the arms forward. And then all the way down to low lunge. Hands to the inside. Maybe feet a little wider than the hips to create space. Stay on the fingertips, go down to the palms. Take right knee down to the floor. Good there. Bend the elbows, lower towards or to the forearms. Find your place. Each side a little different. Stay with your breath. Walk it back up to your hands. Find plank position. Lower flat down to your yoga mat. Cobra, curl the chest up. Child's pose, press the hips back to the heels. Give it a good 4 or 5 breaths here. Letting ourselves transition really into these lower poses on the mat. Quarter close of the practice. All right, come on back up to all fours. Right knee behind the right wrist, heel towards the left side. So pigeon pose. Walk the left leg back until more of the left front of the thigh is on the ground. Untuck the toes. Come down to the forearms. Today, stay down on the forearms, but give most of your weight over to the left side. And then kick your left heel towards your seat. Twist, look towards your right side, and take the right hand to hold on or to reach to the foot. Kick your foot back into the hand so it's not trying to come in, we're trying to kick back. And then just a nice easeful release, come out of the twist, back up to the hands. I like to bring in the left knee first and then all fours. Second side, slide your left knee towards the left wrist, heel to the right side. Slowly walk the right leg back until more of the front of the thigh is on the ground. Untuck the toes and lower down to the forearms. Lean it more over towards the right side. Kick the right heel towards your seat. Open up the twist. Look towards the left side and take the left hand to reach back towards the foot. If they connect, push the foot into the hand so you feel as though you're moving more up and back. And then a nice slow release there. Move your way back to the hands. Right knee closer in. Step the left knee back, all fours. Cat and cow pose here. Perhaps taking in how it feels versus the front end of the class. I hope you find a little more fluid, a little more ease in the breath, as well as that energy and excitement that come from practice. Okay, downward facing dog for just a couple of breaths here. Big full stretch. Inhale, come forward to plank. With as much control as possible, nice and slow, lower down to the ground. Bend both knees, kick the feet in towards the seat. Take your hands and reach back. Hold on to the air or hold on to the front of your feet. If you're holding onto your feet, really spread your toes so that you engage the muscles in the calves. And then everyone lift as high as you can. Bow pose. Dhanurasana here. Kick the feet back, lift the thighs higher. Stretch the chest forward. Squeeze the glutes. And then exhale, lower down. Downward facing dog, take it all the way up and back. From downward facing dog, take your favorite form of side plank. Right hand outer edge of the right foot. So your favorite form, it might be bottom knee down, top foot step forward, stack the feet. What's working for you in this moment? Don't overthink it again. Let the body take the lead, a joyful expression and pose here. Full downward facing dog. Give it a go on your second side. Left hand, outside edge of the left foot. What feels good right now? Side plank on the second side. Looking good, friends. Go back to downward facing dog. Last time in plank. Make it a good one. Come forward. Steady, steady, steady. Toes or knees. Find your strength. Still allowing this plank pose at the end of class to give you more. And lower the knees down. Press back, child's pose with knees together. Lift your torso so you're sitting back on your flat feet. And take a little twist to the right. As always, if sitting all the way back and down is counter for your knees or ankles, you could lift up in a kneeling position here. We're bringing it down. We just want it to feel good. Come on to the second side. And back to your center, feet out in front of you. So take a seat, legs long and out in front of you. Take the hands a foot behind you, turn the fingers out towards either side. Tabletop pose, bend the knees so that the feet are flat, and then lift the hips up so that you are a table. Tuck the chin and look down your legs, your belly. Take a couple of breaths. All good here. Let's go back down to the butt. Either do that same thing a second time or extend your legs. You can flex the feet, toes up to the sky. And now we've got a little sloping table as we lift again. If you've got straight legs, try to press through the front of the foot to get your toes back down. Big stretch through the front of the foot there. And then everyone butt back down to the mat. Sit up tall, Dandasana, staff posture. Hips, shoulders, ears, head, all stacked on top. Stare down at your toes, have the feet just a little bit apart, maybe one fist width in between. And then try to spread the toes themselves. Keep pressing your heels into the mat, the back of your calves, the back of your thighs into the mat. Do all of that and then close off the angle. Reach your head a little closer to your toes without rounding the back here. Move the hands a little farther forward. My hands are at the top of the shins here. Keeping the spine as long as possible. Keep closing the angle. Eyes still towards the toes rather than at the legs. And then one more little inch forward. We want to find strength in the belly and spine here, the back, and a good stretch through the legs. Finally, full round in the back. You could bend the knees to support this a little bit more and head more down towards the shins. Next breath, walk yourself back to upright. Sit the butt forward so that you can lie down onto your back. And then stretch your arms overhead as you lie down on your mat here. Reach as far as you can from fingertips and down to the toes. Keeping that long length in the spine. One more bridge pose. Set the soles of the feet to the mat. Press down through your feet, shoulders, head, and lift your hips up. Hands as you choose. Hold the edge of the mat or interlace underneath you and rock the shoulders in. Stay strong in the legs, strong in the glutes. To make this a more pleasurable open and breath along the front side of the body. Release the hands and lower the hips back down. Hug the knees into your chest. Change to thread the needle. So with both feet on the ground, cross the right ankle over. Right knee out to the side. Pull the left leg in and thread the arms through. Hold on, back of the thigh or front of the shin. Bring both feet down to the mat. Cross the left ankle over the right. Point the left knee out to the side and pull the right leg in. And then again, both feet down to the mat. Take a little twist here. Let the knees fall from side to side. You can stay more static on one side to the next or keep it moving. If there's any last little bits of movement, unwinding, add them in here. And from that unwinding from your last active pose, then settle in for Shavasana. Let the body find stillness, still keeping the mind unobtrusive so that you can stay in the flow. Take your time now to slowly come back to a little bit of movement, fingers, toes, breath, working in connection with that movement. Come all the way back to an upright seat. Feel free to keep your gaze low or the eyes closed. I always need this extra encouragement to stay out of my own way. I hope that it was helpful in this practice today and might feed you through this last few days of 2020. Let's bring palms together, thumbs to the sternum. From this gesture of intention, we'll close the practice in the sound of Om. The sound of Om helps us into the next beginning. If that speaks to you, you can sing along with me. You can listen. And of course, you could also tune it out. Empty out the breath here. And then take a deep breath in. I bow in honor to you, to each other, and for this practice. Namaste. Okay, thank you, friends, for your